This is the story of our 2020 season, down through Italy, to Sicily, the Ionian Islands, and then round to Syracuse. This is part 1. It includes video and photographs you've not seen in any other video. Sit back with your popcorn and enjoy. And finally, it was time to say goodbye to Gaza. But before you go, make sure you look after the people that have looked after you. Our shakedown sail took us all the way down to the Bay of Naples and a beautiful spot that we've been looking at on Google Earth. Here it is. The anchorage was absolutely beautiful with a castle on the remote headland. In fact, it was so beautiful I got the camera out. Well, I can't help myself. The next morning these guys came round. They literally chucked us out the anchorage, telling us that we were too close to the harbour wall, too close to the port, and that we were illegally anchored. Despite us showing them the charts, they told us to move on. So we did. We moved on, round the headland and into the Bay of Naples, and across the bay we could see Mount Vesuvius in the distance. So we've just anchored in the Bay of Naples. There's Eternité over there, and they are 60 metres away. I just come past our forestay. This is the view we've got. That's roughly 200 metres away. And there is TZ. And over there is Bora La. We are there. That's us there.
Honestly, actually, the water was remarkably warm.
Yeah, from out where we were to there, we can stop into the city.
That's Mount Vesuvius behind the boats. Our last evening in the Bay of Naples gave us this fantastic sunset. And although the swell looks like it's rolling us around a bit, actually it wasn't too bad. As soon as the wind changed, we faced into the swell and, well, just sat and had a nice glass of wine. It was lovely. So I'm not sure how much of this you can see, but obviously that's Oscar. Assumed the position, haven't you, Oscar? And we are just leaving the bay. We've stayed 2 nights. I'll give you some Latin long chords. Quite sheltered, but the swell is running at about, I guess, a yard, 750 mil, but it's right where we don't want it to be. So 7 o'clock this morning, we're moving on. After a beautiful sail along the Amalfi coast, we went into Sorrento. We found a free anchorage which was quite well protected, and David and Caroline went back by bus for just €1.70 into Amalfi to see the sights. Lovely place to stay. Protection all the way around from the north. Not so protected from the south, but hey ho, it was free. And there's a tap on the beach over there, so we've been collecting water in our jugs every day. Right, enough said. And once again, a lovely sail. We even managed to get the cruising chute up. Well, for a while anyway.
I like the cruising chute, Dad.
Do you? Do you like the cruising chute?
Yeah, I do. So, I'll just check this.
Is it alright out there?
Yeah, it's alright.
Any fish?
Well, there's a few. We're in the meadow. Ain't that big.
From Salerno, we carried on down the coast to Agropoli. Now at Agropoli we used what's called a transito berth or transit berth. These berths are quite cheap and you only pay an administration fee which was €5. Water and electricity are extra. But hey, at €5 a night, who's worried? We've just come up all the way from there.
All the way up here.
All the way around there. All the way up this hill. And now we've got to go up there.
Maybe when the sun goes down.
You've all gone silent.
We're all on phones.
I was taking a video. I was taking a photo.
It's €4 for 1,000 litres, so a tonne of water. David's just doing his. Last night, that was where we were, right up the top there. I had an anniversary dinner. Now David's going to do his, going to fill his water jugs. Dean's walking Safi, and it is hot. It's already 25 degrees Celsius. It's a lovely place. I'll give you the long and lat. I'll put it in the thingy down here, look.
Hello, Oscar. Good morning. Hello, Ozzy. He's in. Good old Oscar.
Oscar's running around like a bleeding puppy again. That's the dog that was at death's door 2 weeks ago. This olive tree here's 300 years old, reputedly. Still producing olives though. We continued down the coast looking for a decent anchorage but couldn't find one, and in the end we ended up in a marina. It was very picturesque but incredibly hot for 2 days, but cheap at €30 a night compared with others we've been to.
Okay, so we have found a stunning little marina. It's a tiny little village and a port actually, but hills in the background. It's boiling, scorching hot today. We have a huge backdrop, statue of Jesus up there, a bit like Rio de Janeiro. Here are all the tiny little local fishing boats. You'll see in a minute where the transit boats are, where we all tied up last night. But this is a bit about boat life. These are the local Italian day boats. Oh, that must be Cindy on a liverboard boat. A little bit of washing hanging on the line, things hanging off. There's a sup board standing there, and here's our washing. Not quite an automatic machine. It's 2 buckets, a plunger and a hose. That's what it looks like.
We're continuing our journey, looking at everything as we go. Really enjoying this part of Italy. It's beautiful. Take this little anchorage, Centauro. I've put the long and Latin for you. It was, well, a bit industrial, but just pretty and calm. So calm. Really fantastic. And we were able to get the dogs ashore, give them a good walk into town. There was a Lidl's just up the road. What more could you wish for? As pretty and calm as it was, we're moving on. So this was the next anchorage at Lampara, Spiaggia Lampara, or Lampara Beach. We had a nice chap on a jet ski who came to visit us more than once. That was good of him, wasn't it? And once all the beach dwellers had gone home and we walked Oscar on the beach, we sat down with a glass of wine and watched the sunset. It really was quite a comfortable anchorage. That over there is Sicily. That's the Straits of Messina. That's us at anchor. Sun's going down. Oscar's on the beach. Big granite boulders everywhere, look. Some of them actually look like eggs. They're rounded. Look like big eggs. Somebody's garage at the foot of the cliff. They've even got power down to it. Look. Or is it some kind of cable-y type car? Could be some kind of cable car. Looks like there's something up top there. people on the beach. Very tranquil. Only 5 boats in the anchorage. So very peaceful. Where's it gone? Fetch it! Fetch it! Oh, Mummy's got another one! Here it is! Where's it gone? That's very nice. Where's it gone?
The next morning we headed west after walking Oscar on the beach, towards the Ionian Islands and Stromboli, which has been on our bucket list for years. The Ionian Islands are a chain of volcanic islands on the southwest coast of Italy. Stromboli is the only active volcano in the chain of islands, and when it erupts it can be quite spectacular. We were so looking forward to seeing Stromboli, and had it been erupting we'd even planned to do a night sail round. The sail across looked promising. We had the wind at 90 degrees off our starboard bow, so we put the cruising chutes up and had a fantastic sail the whole way over to the islands. Despite the fantastic sail, as we passed Stromboli we were quite disappointed. She was fast asleep. Well, there was a very slight puff of smoke out from the crater, as you can see in this video. But then the wind died and we had to put the engine on, but we were near our anchorage by then anyway.
We had a fantastic sail down and everyone got their chutes out. It was great. Yeah, well, Stromboli, puff of smoke, well, that's it. Well, we had unfinished business, but more about that later. So we found this fantastic anchorage on the island of Panarea. Really well protected, nice beach for the dogs to run around on. But then we had unfinished business at Stromboli. So we sailed back on ourselves, found an anchorage in the corner of the island and decided to stay there. And this time Stromboli was in a different mood. Just when we thought it was fairly benign, we just heard a big rumble from the top. Big rumble, like thunder. And now there's loads of smoke coming out the top, and all these little steam vents have appeared at the side. That was interesting. With Stromboli erupting again, we decided to get out of Dodge and went south. So we found this lovely little anchorage. It was very quiet and peaceful, but it turns out on a Sunday everybody comes here. In the distance you can see the lighthouse. Let's see if we can get that. And we have to go in the tender with Oscar to the lighthouse and round the lighthouse and into town to give him a walk, because there are no beaches. The little beaches you can see here are all big stones, and up there is the extinct volcano, which looks great on Google Earth. The only one thing I would say is there is a constant swell, I don't know if you can see that, from the ferry boats, and it doesn't stop until about 10 o'clock at night. Yes, another stunning anchorage, And we also managed to get some drone shots. Didn't we, Dean? Thanks, mate. This island is incredibly beautiful, and we decided we were going to go around and look at the other volcano, which is also inactive. The second volcano is on the left hand side there, and it's completely dormant, hasn't erupted for, well, before I was born anyway. But the scenery, just look at it, it's amazing. Pinnacles of rock you can see as we leave the anchorage. There's one there, one there. There's actually two more. I don't know if you can see that one in there. That actually looks like it's about to fall over. It's very narrow at the bottom. So the expected storm was now due to come in from the west, and the best place to stay was stay put. Well, it was quite a night. Thunder, lightning, and even this water spout that Chris managed to capture on her camera. Oh, we've taken Oscar for a walk this morning on the beach behind us. I'll show that in a minute. And the local fishermen are over at the big boat. The chefs come out and they're selling their wares. Now, this is the island of Lipari behind us. Let's see if we can show you the smoking volcano. So behind Eternity there is a volcano, and there's on the rim nearest us you can see what looks to be white rock. It's actually plumes of sulphurous gases coming out. Just see a wisp on the right hand side there. With the wind direction and the swell changing, we decided to go and have a look at Porto de Ponetti in Volcano. The forecast was showing that both the wind and the swell were going to enter this bay, so we thought we'd go and have a look round before we found another anchorage. As it happened, we ended up going all the way down the island, over to Lipari, and then back to the same bay that we'd discovered in the morning. Hey ho. So we ended up back there again, by which time Oscar was crossing his legs. Now, here's a reminder to everyone, kill cord. Always, every time, no excuses. From the beach, it was a quick walk up the alleyway, no more than 10 minutes into the town centre. Nice t-shirt. Yeah, thanks to my daughter Roxanne for that. Nice artwork. So, 10 minutes later, we're in the town, we can do a bit of shopping. Stock up on some groceries. Amazing. Well, we'd kind of just about done the Ionian Islands, and the season's getting on and we wanted to head further south. So, after much to do around volcanoes, it was time for us to head south, to Sicily. And boy did we get a reception. Just look at the colour of that water. Now that's blue. What a welcome to Sicily. Now this is Kefaloon in Sicily. It's the second anchorage we've had in Sicily. We're not allowed to anchor over there by the rocks for some reason. Dean got chucked out by the harbour master. No reason, just €280 fine if you anchor there. But did suggest that we anchor here inside the breakwater. So we are, I guess, 30 metres from the breakwater, and it's deep water, deepish water, 6-7 metres right up to the edge of the breakwater. Right, time for a cup of tea. Gonna make a brew. So while we were in such a quiet and peaceful anchorage with very clear blue water, David had asked would I change his anodes. It didn't take very long. There are 3 anodes on this prop. They're held in with an M6 bolt, a cap head screw actually, and all you have to do is undo the cap head screw, take the anode out and replace it. Now it's not really a difficult job, in fact it's pretty straightforward. So Cindy and David both had GoPros in the water filming what I was doing. Taking them off is pretty straightforward, you just undo the cap screw. As I was working, I wanted to show them, or indicate to them, how many anodes I'd got off, so I pointed with my fingers, 1, 2, and then 3. And if I dropped one, it didn't really matter. Well, it did, it lifted the seabed. But I managed to keep hold of all of them in one hand while undoing them with the other. I'll show you some of the footage from the other GoPro in a minute, but meanwhile, here's me putting back the anodes. And you know what they say, if anything can go wrong, it will go wrong. That's Murphy's Law. So, I had the bolts all ready, the anodes had been painted around them to stop them corroding, and David comes in for a nice close-up, and what happens? Yeek, I dropped the anode. Luckily, it wasn't that deep, and I had my weight belt on, so I just went down to the seabed below and picked it up. And then came back up again, nice and slowly. Those of you who are scuba divers know you should never come up from that kind of depth, faster than the bubbles are rising. So nice and slow, back over to the sail drive, and this time I managed to get it on straight away. Next time we continue our journey around Sicily. Don't forget to like, subscribe and give us a thumbs up, or even join our Patreon crew. Sail safe. Happy New Year.